Hey guys, Sundown Rider here. This is going to be my chapter review to One Piece 878 Mink Tribe Guardians Chief Pedro. Now, this chapter was dope. This chapter was really good. I really enjoyed this chapter. Now, people who've been saying the Whole Cake Island whole arc it hasn't really been all that good. Well, this arc has been pretty solid for me as a reviewer, and for I think for a lot of other reviews as well. This whole arc's been pretty good. I've really enjoyed it, and it's been quite a good arc, actually, a really good arc, to be fair. I mean, there's been parts and points where I haven't really enjoyed it, and it's been a little bit slow. But for the majority of the arc and the things we've learned and what's happened, this arc has been solid. This arc has been really good. So let's get into what happened this chapter, because this chapter was dope. There's 5 or 6 points I really want to mention throughout this chapter. It's going to be the flashback, obviously, to do with Roger and all that. Perospero, Katakuri, Luffy, and Luffy versus Katakuri. The hype. That's going to be dope. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Alright, so let's get back into it. So, the flashback. So we obviously see the flashback between Pedro and so after Big Mom took the 50 years of life away from Pedro, we see his first interaction with Perospero, and Perospero's like, the name for your pirates, the name for your crew is really kind of depressing, because Nox in Latin means night, sorry. And that's not something I think a lot of people picked up on. I didn't pick up on it. It was something I kind of knew, but I just didn't really recognize it. So the Nox pirates, and the meaning behind it is really dope. And when you come onto that whole Roger part as well, it makes sense. So Roger, this kind of flashback was trying to, for me, it was conveying the lasting effect that Roger has had on Pedro, and the lasting effect that the legend of the Minx, in terms of there will be someone who will come in the future who will lead us into a new age. That whole thing, and Roger's influence on Pedro is really the source of the name, the Nox Pirates. So Roger said to him, everyone has their time to shine, i.e. you're not going to come with me, you do your own thing later. And then he says that, I like the fact that Pedro actually says the same thing to Carrot in their flashback, and she now has a really solid reason to join the Straw Hat Pirates. But in the flashback we see that Roger he's recognized that he's dying. He knew that way before he got to Zoe, we assume, because he knew at reverse mountain that he was going to die eventually due to that wasting disease he had. But it's when Pedro finds out that Roger has died, and he knows of the Minx legend already, we assume, so he knows that another person is going to be the person that leads them to the new age. And Pedro, the name for the Nox Pirates is the Night Pirates, and the reason he's named them that is because he had this whole thing of the darkness before the dawn, as in there must be something that comes before the main thing, i.e. he wants to be the foundation for the new age. And I really liked that. I thought it was a nice subtle touch. I've talked about it for like 2-3 minutes now, but I thought it was a really, really nice aspect of the chapter. The name of the Nox Pirates was really cool. So then we come to Perospero. He is one tough mofo. This guy just got blown sky high, and I like the fact, I think it says a lot about Perospero that he's actually still alive. The guy he was blown to smithereens. Like Pedro, if Pedro comes back after this, I will lose a little bit of respect for One Piece, because the whole Pell thing happened, and I think Oda knows this. I think he knows that he can't just pull Perospero back into the he can't pull Pedro back into the mix after having him go out like that. Too much has happened. The whole flashbacks, Carrot's flashbacks, Luffy's maturity that he's gained from this. Too much has happened now in one chapter for him to come back. So I really, really want Pedro to be dead. But then that would also cement how strong Perospero is and how strong the Big Mom crew are. Because Big Mom at the moment has been a little bit disappointing, I gotta admit. She's super strong, but she's super stupid. The rest of her crew is doing most of the job. Katakuri, Perospero. I mean, Smoothie hasn't done jack shit, but Krakow is kicking ass as well. So Perospero, he's bloodied up. He's lost an arm. I was like, yo, shit. And Oda doesn't usually do so. I mean, like, Shanks was the last person that lost an arm, but Perospero has actually lost an arm. You can see the blood dripping from his from the wound. And I thought that was really, really dope. I was like, yo, this is getting serious. This is really serious now. As if it wasn't serious enough anyway. So Perospero, strong ass mofo. We then come to Katakuri and his statement. So Katakuri's all like, as long as I'm on this ship, he's on the Thousand Sunny, and he's basically stalling the Straw Hats. He's messing up whatever they're trying to do, and he's like, as long as I'm on the ship, you're not gonna get away, which is true. And I liked the fact that Luffy realized that Katakuri's statement was legit. He was like, okay, I recognize that this is the truth. If Katakuri's on this ship, we're gonna have a hard time getting off of it, getting off this coastline. So he restrains Katakuri, and then he obviously takes him into the mirror world. And I was like, Luffy's, and then so going off of that, Luffy's leadership in this chapter, you see that he has grown definitely from Ace's death, because I don't think anybody else has really experienced someone's death in the middle of like a huge battle. Luffy's the only one really who's experienced someone dying in the middle of a battle, i.e. Ace. I mean, Nami's had Belmer and all that, but that wasn't during a battle. That was just during a little skirmish and a little encounter. No one else there apart from maybe Jinbei. He would have seen probably people in the army die when he was one of the generals in the army for the Fishman Kingdom, Ryugu Kingdom. But Luffy's the only one with that kind of experience. So Luffy instantly, as soon as he sees that Pedro's out and he's basically dead, well, he is dead, I hope he's dead, Luffy instantly takes leadership. And I love it when Luffy takes leadership, because his seriousness shows the dire situation that they're in. And also, when Luffy takes leadership, he starts ordering his crewmates, and he doesn't usually do that, but he's ordering Nami. He's you need to get Coup de Burst ready. You need to get Coup de Burst ready. Jinbei, you need to get the helm. Chopper, Brook, get your asses ready. We're gonna keep the sails unfurled and everything. So I liked that. And Luffy's, you can see the maturity he's gained from past experiences. And it's one of the best things about One Piece when Luffy actually gets annoyed, and when he knows he has to take leadership, and then he steps up to the plate every time. So that was really cool. And then obviously we come to the Luffy versus Katakuri hype. Luffy jumps into the mirror world with Katakuri, smashes the mirror behind him. So there's no way for Katakuri to get back to the ship, but more importantly, there's no way for Luffy to get back to the ship. So Luffy must have some sort of... Luffy doesn't do things in dire situations unless he has a plan. Well, we can dispute that, but Luffy must know. He must have clocked something like, oh yeah, I found something about Katakuri that I can maybe utilize. Maybe when he used his elephant gun and he was holding him, he's probably thinking, yeah, actually I know something that I can do now to maybe beat Katakuri. But Katakuri, all the way throughout this chapter, he's just looking and observing at what he's like, observing Luffy's choices. He's like, when Luffy attacks him, he's like, oh yeah, that was a good decision and all this. And then when Luffy breaks the mirror and he's in the mirror world with Katakuri's just looking at him like, well done, that was a good choice. That was a really, really well thought out decision. So I'm not, like I said before, I've always had a weird vibe from Katakuri, i.e. he doesn't strike me as an evil character. I mean, like Big Mom, she's weird, she's vile, she's basically just a demon in flesh. And Pero and all those guys, they're all a bit insane. Smoothie is the only one that didn't actually seem insane apart from the rest of them. And all her kids have some element of insanity to them. But Smoothie, she seemed a bit innocent. Well, she was friggin' juicing giraffes and shit, and juicing that woman. So she's a bit crazy as well. But our boy Katakuri, he's always seemed a bit different to the rest of the Big Mom pirates. And I'm not sure whether he's kind of sizing up Luffy and wondering whether he should leave the Big Mom Pirates. I'm sure we're going to get something on this and his relationship to the Big Mom Pirates eventually. Or I'm just reading into it and he's just going to try and fight Luffy and he's loyal to the Big Mom Pirates. I already thought a few chapters ago that that was it. He was loyal to the Big Mom Pirates completely. But Katakuri's always giving me that vibe of sizing up Luffy, and whether he's thinking of leaving, whether he's not, I don't know. Yeah, so those are the main things I wanted to talk about. Obviously, next chapter, I hope it's Luffy versus Katakuri again. It might be Sanji and crew doing the making the cake and everything like that. But let's talk about the little details. So as I said before, Carrot now seems to have more of a reason to join the Straw Hat Pirates. She's lost her mentor and what was basically, I assume, someone who was like a father figure almost, or maybe even a big brother figure in her life. And this is kind of like the sad backstory for her. She's lost her brother. She can't go back. She's going to join the Straw Hat Pirates. It's a good enough reason to join. The other thing is when all the candy melted away after Pedro blew up and Pero we assumed had probably died. I thought, and judging by Katakuri's reaction as well, because Katakuri was shaking, he was like, "Yo, shit!" My older brother's just, "Oh, what the?" And I was like, "Yo, okay." So Katakuri was shook. I was like, "Yeah, I think Pero is dead. He's not coming back from this." And the fact that he came back, that's like one of the biggest parts of this chapter to me. Pero is still alive. He's one tough mofo. Yeah, I've already mentioned Luffy's taking leadership and what that implies and stuff in terms of his maturity. That was cool. The cannonballs were homies. I like that little detail. But imagine, like someone mentioned it on the Reddit. Imagine the life of a cannonball homie. You just get shot out. You knock into something. Well, I suppose cannonballs can be reused, right? Because yeah, cannonballs should be able to be reused. So it's just a little funny detail. The other thing I want to mention actually is Big Mom was breaking the back of the ship. Was breaking the back of the Thousand Sunny. You can see the rails and parts of the floorboards. Just completely cracking and breaking off actually, and that shit's made out of atom wood. That's meant to be nigh on indestructible in flame. You can't. It's resistant to flames, all that type of stuff. So, and it's meant to be, I'm pretty sure, indestructible. Like, it's meant to be really solid. And she's munching it. She's just using her teeth to munch through that shit. I was like, yo, shit. So Big Mom, like, she's got some mad ass chompers on it in her jaws, man. I was like, yo. The coup de burst also detached Big Mom from the ship, so they're just flying away. And then Luffy's promised to be back. Luffy very rarely breaks the promise. We know that about his character. So this chapter was just hype. Let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys for my Boku no Hero Academia review.